Then I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them the wrath of God is complete. And I saw something like a sea of glass, mingled with fire, and those who have the victory over the beast, over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having harps of God. They sing the song of Moses, the servant of God, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are your works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are your ways, O King of the saints. Who shall not fear you, O Lord, and glorify your name? For you alone are holy. For all nations shall come and worship before you. For your judgments have been manifested. After these things I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was opened. And out of the temple came the 7 angels, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure bright linen, and having their chests girded with golden bands. Then one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 angels 7 golden bowls full of the wrath of God, who lives forever and ever. The temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God, and from his power. And no one was able to enter the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were completed. So now we see in heaven that they are preparing for the wrath of God. They're preparing the judgments that will be used in the wrath of God. We see 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, and these plagues completes the wrath of God. Then we see something like a sea of glass mingled with fire, and those who have the victory over their beast, over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass. And they have harps of God, and these are the ones that did not get the mark, and they passed the hour of trial, and either were able to escape until the harvest when Jesus came to pick them up, or they were martyred because they refused to get the mark. So they refused to worship the Antichrist. They stuck by Jesus. They stuck by the true Jesus and refused the Antichrist and refused the beast government. And they were killed because of that. And these are the people that are here in heaven singing praises to God. And they're praising God. And then after they finish their praises, the temple in heaven opens, and then the 7 angels come out of the temple. Then one of the 4 living creatures gives to each angel a bowl. This bowl is filled with the wrath of God. The 7 angels have the plagues of God, but the wrath of God is inside these bowls. When it says that the 7 angels have these plagues, it's meaning they are in control of destruction and death, because they hold these bowls in their hands to pour onto the earth the wrath of God that's in the bowls. We see in Revelation 9 verse 18 that the angels that were loosed in the river Euphrates, it says, by these 3 plagues a third of mankind was killed. So plagues means destruction and death, and the angels have the plagues, meaning that they are in control of destruction and death. They are the ones that are going to be pouring these bowls that are filled with the wrath of God onto the earth. And through them, the wrath of God is completed. But until the wrath of God is complete, it says that no one is able to enter the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were completed. So until the wrath of God is finished, no one is able to enter the temple. There's still business that God has to have completed before the next steps, before anyone is able to go inside the temple and have the marriage supper of the Lamb. So no one is able to enter the actual temple where we will have fellowship with Jesus, which is called the marriage supper of the Lamb. We'll all be in heaven, but there's still more work to be done before what's called the marriage supper of the Lamb. And we'll get into that when we get to that chapter.